Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of SEDA College Online Live Advanced Class. Today, we have all kinds of exciting things to discuss. As you know, we're always bringing you the best content possible, and they're planned well in advance. But I also want to let you know about all the other content we have at SEDA College Online. SEDAcollegeonline.com has all kinds of great courses that lots of people have already discovered and really appreciated, so I know you guys will really enjoy them if you check them out. Think about subscribing, becoming a member, and joining our revolution. So, remember, you need a pen for my class. What else do you need? That's right, folks. You need a notebook because we are going to take some notes, and today is all about grammar. We're going to break it on down to Grammar Town and figure out relative clauses, okay? First, we'll review the relative pronouns, then we'll talk about relative clauses because there are two types of relative clause, okay? So I just want to give a little bit of time for people to arrive. I hope everybody's doing well. I hope everybody's happy and healthy. Make sure you have your bottle of water or whatever it is you need with you while you're enjoying our class. And remember, if you're here live, in the comments section on the YouTube, you can put comments and participate with me, and I will answer any questions that you have, okay? So feel free to do that because I'm here for you, and I want to be a part of this experience with you in the moment as we are going through the lesson, okay? So, it's now time to get this going and break it on down to Grammar Town. Let us check out a little table that I created here. Relative pronouns can be really confusing for people, especially I've noticed that whose and whom get very confusing for people. So let's just take a look at this table in detail. I made this table so that you could screenshot it or write it down or whatever in an easy way, and you could understand quickly what you need, okay? So the first thing is, what are we talking about? Are we talking about people? Okay, then the subject we use is who. The object would be who or whom. Possessive whose, okay? Because a person can be the subject or an object of a sentence, right? We're talking about things. They're the subject, then which, object which, possessive whose, okay? So this is the bottle whose cap is blue, okay? Even for the bottle, possessive, we would use whose. All right. People or things, we can use that, and there's no possessive in this one, okay? We already have the possessives for those, all right? But I wanted you to know that that is kind of neutral, and you can use it for people or things, okay? Great. So this is our relative pronouns. You want to keep these in your mind. So if the person is an object, what can you use? You got it. Who or whom. If the person is being used in the possessive, they possess something, we have to show something is theirs and they own it. What are we going to use? That's right, whose, okay? Whose. And a lot of times people get this confused with W-H-O apostrophe S. Whose, like asking who does something belong to. People get those confused all the time, okay? So just remember, it's actually whose like this, all right? Who, apostrophe S, is who is. Like, who is that? Who's that? Okay? That's a contraction. The possessive is actually W-H-O-S-E. All right? Got to remember that and make sure you write it down. Okay? All right. So if I'm talking about things and the thing is the subject, what do I say? Which. You are absolutely right. Very, very good. And when do I use that? With people or things. So you could say, this is the bottle that has a blue cap. Or I can say, that was my friend that works at the cinema. Okay? So my friend's a person, the bottle's a thing, but we can use that with both. Plus, together, use it with both, okay? That, people or things, all together. Great, wonderful. Okay, so make sure you do your little screenshot and you write everything down. That's really, really important. You know it. If you don't write it down, you won't remember it, and it will just fly out of your head. So write it down. All right, so those are our relative pronouns, just a little review. And now I'm going to give you some examples of these relative pronouns in use. Now, the last slide, I verbally and audibly gave you some examples, but now we're going to see some more examples in this lighter purple box. Lord Marks, who is 76, has just retired. Who is 76? That's the relative clause, right? And Lord Marks is a man, so a person, so we're using who because he's the subject, right? This is the house which John built. What is the subject of this sentence? This is the house which John built. You're right, the house is the subject, and so we use which. Okay? Marie Curie is the woman that discovered radium. So Marie Curie is a woman, so we could have said the woman who discovered radium, but we can also say the woman that discovered radium. Both are okay. So guys, what am I going to say next? I'm pretty sure you know exactly what I'm going to say next if you're one of our regular viewers. If you're brand new, enjoy the ride. What I'm going to say next is, it's your turn. You try 3 minutes to have 3 of your own examples that you write yourself, okay? Because I can't do all the work here. I can't be next to you all the time speaking English for you. You need to speak and write English well and with confidence. So you need to practice, because practice makes perfect. So I'm going to put 3 minutes on the clock. You need to check these examples and now write 3 of your own original sentences using these examples as a guide. Because guess what? You can do this, my friends. You don't need me. You got this now. Let's do 3 minutes. This is our favorite Bach. Go. 3 minutes on the clock. Can't wait to see what you come up with. It's gonna be awesome. Listen, guys, you're doing great. One minute, 30 seconds left. You're doing great, guys. Remember, it's okay if you only have 1 new sentence after these 3 minutes. Don't torture yourself. You're doing the best you can. And guess what? Your best is enough. It's absolutely enough. 55 seconds. Wonderful. You're doing fabulous. Guys, you're doing great. Lord Marks, who is 76, has just retired. This is the house which John built. Awesome! It's time! Alrighty. So, I'm going to check over your examples, and while I do that, let's go on to the next slide. Alright, so relative clauses, part 1. We were really, looking at the pronouns before and getting familiar with them again, but now I really want to talk about the individual clauses. And remember, clauses are a smaller bit or phrase inside of a sentence. A clause is smaller than a sentence. Sentence, clause, words, or phrases, okay? Great. So, we have two types of relative clauses. 1, 2. Defining relative clauses, which identify who or what is being talked about, who or what is the subject of the sentence, okay? And a defining relative clause is important for you to remember the part defining, because a definition gives you information about who or what something is, right? So, definition, defining. Defining relative clause identifies who or what is being talked about. That's the most important part for you to remember, okay? Non-defining relative clauses, they're not about telling you the who or what. They're about giving more information about who or what we are talking about, okay? So we already know who or what. Let's get some more extra information. So non-defining, I want you to think about as extra, bonus, more information, okay? Great. So, which one, defining or non-defining? I'm going to give you guys 2 minutes. I will read through each one. When I'm finished, you have 2 minutes to decide, is it a defining relative clause or a non-defining relative clause after the relative pronoun? Remember, the part after the relative pronoun is the relative clause. All right. Do you know the guy who moved in 2 doors down? So imagine you live in an apartment or a house and you're talking to a neighbor and you're talking about 2 doors away from your house, or you could even be talking to a roommate. And you see that somebody new has moved in 2 doors away from your house, okay? Do you know the guy who moved in 2 doors down? Maybe we're asking because he's causing some problems, okay? So we need to know who he is and what is going on. All right. Can I have the pen that I lent you back? Okay, can I have, that pen that I lent you back? Can you return it to me? A laptop is a computer which is portable. Mike's father, who lives in New York, is a lawyer. We stopped at the museum, which we had never seen before. Okay, so I'm going to say them all again, and then I'll give you 2 minutes. And I'm going to say them slowly because I'd like you to practice some pronunciation with me and repeat after me if you can, okay? Do you know the guy who moved in 2 doors down? Can I have that pen that I lent you back? A laptop is a computer which is portable. So if you don't know what portable means, this is a real colloquial word native speakers would use, and it means you can transport it to different places. It's not stationary. It's not in one place. Stationary is the opposite of portable, okay? It's movable if it's portable. A laptop is a computer which is portable. Great. Guys, that one can be hard to pronounce sometimes. Portable. Mike's father, who lives in New York, is a lawyer. We stopped at the museum, which we had never seen before. Great. Okay, so now you decide. You take 2 minutes and you decide which of those sentences are defining and which are non-defining. And if you're following along in your notebook or in the comments section for our live class, you can put D or ND next to the number. Okay? All right, 2 minutes. Restart the music. Okay. You got this, guys. Good activity for you to practice. Okay, that's it. It's time. Do, 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 do. You can do, you can do, you just did it. Great job. Okay, so let's check. Numbers 1, 2, and 3. Defining. If you said defining, you did awesome. And actually, they were in black, so it was kind of a giveaway. There was something different about the numbers. Numbers 4 and 5 are non-defining, okay? So Mike's father is a lawyer is a sentence on its own. And the part who lives in New York is just like extra information. We stopped at the museum. That's a sentence by itself. Which we had never seen before or been to before is extra information, okay? We stopped at the museum can go on its own. Do you know the guy who moved in 2 doors down? The guy who moved in 2 doors down, that clause is telling you who the guy is. It's identifying him, so it's a defining clause, isn't it? Can I have that pen that I lent you back? I'm talking about the pen I lent you. I don't want any pen, so I'm identifying which pen. A laptop is a computer which is portable. So I'm telling you what a laptop is. Therefore, I'm identifying a laptop, defining. 4 and 5, non-defining. If you got those, woo! You're winning, doing a great job. If you didn't get them, that's okay. Just review all of this. No problem, no biggie. All right. So now it's your turn to write your own 3 original sentences, okay? We're not deciding which is which. You are writing your own, okay? And I'm going to give you 3 minutes for this because I do think it's important for you to write your own, okay? If you can't do 3 in 3 minutes, no problem. You just do your best, my friend, okay? That is enough. That is enough for me and should be enough for everyone else. So here are the examples again, or 4 of the examples. 2 defining and 2 non-defining. And you decide. You decide what you want to write. You can write all 3 the same, or you can write 2 of one and 1 of the other type. Whatever you want. Defining or non-defining, just practice. Because practice makes perfect. Ooh, beautiful, uplifting. And I'll give you 3 minutes. Oh, this sounds familiar. You can do this, guys. You're doing great. I'm so proud of you. SEDA doesn't stop. We keep going. And you don't stop because you're here studying with us and you're doing great. Do it, do it, do it. You can do it. Okay, it's getting a little too opera for me. I draw the line at opera. This is Bach again. J.S. Bach. B-A-C-H. See, teacher studies too. Teachers studying Spanish at SEDA College Online and with a book because I like to do both. I like to try lots of different methods. Teacher has studied Italian before. This is my Ponti book. Teacher studied German even, way back in university. And all these books were great, but I wish I had SEDA College Online back then because that would have helped me a lot. Anytime having that kind of resource is wonderful. Right at your fingertips on any device. We didn't have smartphones then, though, when I was in university. We really just got mobile phones when I was in university, and they were very old and very different. It's text and calls. Maybe that game's Snake. Okay. 20 seconds. You're doing great. Wonderful. This close, guys. You're almost there. Okay, that's it. Time is up. Okay. So I'm going to check your sentences for you. If you're on the live, let's move on. So part 2 for relative clauses. What if you need to talk about the time or the place? That's how you're defining or giving more information? Well, when you talk about time, you use when to start the relative clause. And when you talk about place, you use where. Okay? So let's look at some examples. Which one, defining or non-defining? You decide. She wanted to live in a place where there are lots of things to do. She wanted to live in a place where there are lots of things to do. I'm going to Paris in the spring, where my brother lives. Friday was the day when I saw him in the shop. Friday, I was shopping when I saw him. Okay, so I'm going to say them one more time for you to practice your pronunciation with me. And then after that, you're doing your defining or non-defining. You tell me. Number one, D or ND? What do you think? She wanted, great, to live in a place where there are lots of things to do. Awesome! I'm going to Paris in the spring, where my brother lives. You got it. Friday was the day when I saw him in the shop. Friday, I was shopping when I saw him. Okay, so let's do a minute and 30 seconds. You tell me this time defining or non-defining. You guys got it. Defining or non-defining. You can figure this out. Which of these sentences identify who or what we are talking about, and which of them provide more information? You're doing great. Never really sure what to do when you're doing your exercises because I don't want to distract you, but I also don't want to be just like sitting here not really doing much. So if you want to give me some feedback in the comments, what should I do when you're doing your exercises? Sometimes I try to say the sentences over again or do whatever I can to support you. So yeah, I'll do that. Time, we use when. Place, we use where. She wanted to live in a place where there are lots of things to do. I'm going to Paris in the spring. Okay, that's the timer. So, if you said that number one was defining, well done, you got it. You said that number two was, that's right, non-defining, then you got it. You said that number three was defining. Well done. You said that number four was non-defining. Good job. Everybody is doing fantastic. I'm so proud of you guys. And I want to remind you again that if you're here studying, you're doing something awesome for yourself. And you should be super, super proud. Okay? I'm proud of you. All right, let's move on. You try. Your turn. I'm going to give you 3 minutes. Write as many as you can, okay? You can do this with me. You don't just get a lecture. You don't just get a lesson. You get exercises. You get practice. You get writing and progress in your notebook. You know what you can do over time? You can take your notebook. You can make different notes in different sections. And you can flip through and go, oh, these are all my notes on relative clauses. And you can find them on a specific page. Or these are all my notes on how to write an essay. These are all my notes on transition words. And you can see, wow, look at all of this that I've done. And I'm doing it with you because I plan everything in detail in my notebook first. Then I create my slides for you. And then we go and we present it to you, right? So you can do the same thing. We all learn and retain information the same way. Just because I understand this stuff doesn't mean I don't need to plan and remember how to explain it. So we're all doing this together. It's your turn. 3 minutes. Let's do 2 minutes, 30 seconds. And you can come up with, it's on the clock now, go. You can come up with as many sentences as possible using time or place, okay? Keyboard. She wanted to live in a place where there are lots of things to do. I'm going to Paris in the spring where my brother lives. Friday was the day when I saw him in the shop. Friday I was shopping when I saw him with another woman. Dun dun dun. No, I'm just joking. Friday I was shopping when I saw him. And it changed my life forever. I'll never be the same. It's all over for me now. I'm in love. I'm just being dramatic to entertain you. I'm going to Paris in the spring where my brother lives. Yeah. We're not friendly, but he lives in Paris, so I mean, come on. I'll bring a present and say hello. Or I'm going to Paris in the spring where my brother lives. I'm so excited to see my brother. She wanted to live in a place where there are lots of things to do. I don't know anybody who said, I want to live in a place where there's nothing. Maybe some people want that. Maybe they want quiet. They've done all the things. They've seen all the places. They just want quiet and peace and to be left alone. For once. Maybe, if they're a big Hollywood star or something. But I think that's... Most people want to live in a place where there are things to do, so they have options, right? People like options, even if they can't decide. How many times have you been scrolling through movies or TV series and you can't decide on what to watch? You have so many options, but you can't choose. Interesting. Okay, how much time? Oh, that's it. That's the end. That is the end. So, I'm going to check all your sentences, but let's look at a real life situation. These are our favorite couple, Mr. and Miss, him and her, and he says, how was your weekend? She says, great. My uncle, who lives in New York City, came to visit. Great. My uncle, who lives in New York City, came to visit. What type of relative clause is that? Who lives in New York City in this sentence? Is it defining or non-defining? Tell me. You're right, non-defining, because she could say my uncle came to visit. Okay? Who lives in New York City is just giving us extra information about her uncle. Wonderful. Guys, I'm so proud of you. You've done so awesome today. Thank you so much for being here. As always, I want to invite you to join us again anytime, 3:30 lives, and our old courses are all uploaded, so you can always go back and see some stuff that you missed and learn more with us here at SEDA College Online. Thank you so much. I'm Teacher Lydia. Peace out.